Hey everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk Fitness. Today is going to be a little bit different episode. Coming to the end of 2025, this year's changed me. And I'm going to go through what I've learned, what I've let go of, and what's coming next. And if you can take one thing from this episode by the end, so I want you to do the same. Rather than going the new year, new me, and look at all the things that you're going to do in 2026, let's look at how far you've come and then be in the now. We can plan for the future, but we don't actually have it. We want to go through all the lessons that you've learned and who you've become in 2025. So we're going to do a full end of year reflection, chapter by chapter, because when I look back personally at 2025, from business stress, programming, meal plans, coaching, all the way to the really personal stuff like friendship hurt, self-doubt, losing my spark, and rebuilding my confidence, I realized something. This year changed me. Not in one big moment, but in 100 small ones. We often forget everything that we've learned and everything that we've become. So today I'm walking you through the chapters of my year, and I'm giving you reflection questions along the way too, because growth isn't something you do alone. And let's dive in. So, how the year started. This year started just like most other years for me. Big goals, big visions, big pressure. I was excited, motivated, ready to grow the business, grow the community, and grow myself. But underneath that, what I didn't realize is I was carrying a lot. I was juggling mum life, business life, being a coach, a trainer, a leader, running a community, keeping memberships stable, doing programs, events, one of the biggest events AMBT's ever had, our Bali retreat, challenges, trying to keep everyone else feeling supported. But what I didn't realize, the emotional load that I was carrying. So I asked myself, and I want you to ask yourself, what were you carrying at the start of the year that you didn't even acknowledge? Were you expecting yourself to do everything perfectly? Were you trying to be everything for everyone? And did you actually give yourself space to actually feel your own needs? Because I know I didn't. I just tried to power on. And what I found is when I did that for long enough, something always cracks. Which leads me into the moments that shook me, the friendship, the hurt, the awkwardness. This is one of my hardest chapters of the year. There was a few friendship situations that really hurt me. Something personal, something private, something that shifted the energy in the space that I used to feel safe. Suddenly I felt awkward in my own gym. I felt misunderstood. I felt embarrassed. And I felt tension that I didn't even create. But I still carried, and I still had to carry on. And I remember literally asking myself, how do I act normal when I'm hurting? How do I not feel awkward? How do I navigate through this professional life when it feels so personal? Because when you run a community, your personal life and your business life overlap. And I guess this situation taught me a massive lesson. Not everyone who starts with you will finish with you. And that's okay. Just saying that, I felt this pressure lift off me. And my question for you is who hurt you this year more than you expected? And what boundary do you wish you set earlier? Because I know myself, I've learned the hard way. Your peace is worth protecting. You can never go back and change the past. You can never change another person. And you can never control the outcome from anybody else but yourself, even if it feels super uncomfortable. The only person that we have control over is us and how we feel about a situation. There were days this year where I genuinely questioned everything. The admin was stacking up, the memberships felt uncertain, people weren't answering. I had all these huge events and they were demanding, especially Bali. Challenges, they were exhausting. If I go back to my madness, is it didn't run as I had planned. I felt constantly behind. Every time I felt things were going well, I felt like I got knocked down. And the worst part of this for me is when I would go into my safe space, my home, I was taking these things with me and they were literally killing me. My attitude towards the people that I loved the most would change. I wasn't present, and this hurt as well. I felt empty, I felt defeated, I felt that I lost my spark. I wanted to change careers. I wanted to be there more for my kids. And you're probably thinking, how do you keep going when everything feels heavy? And I know this feeling because you're not alone in this. We've all had those silent battles. But you know what this has taught me? Is being overwhelmed doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. So here's your questions. Is where do you feel pressure this year? And what expectation did you put on yourself that wasn't realistic? Because the moment I admitted that I need support, everything changed. And I remember in my first session, I was like, how can I help so many others with self-development, their growth, their journey, and so passionate and get so much success, yet I feel that I can't do that for myself. And the words that were repeated back to me is because you don't believe in yourself. These other people believe you. And that really kind of hit home. It's like when people give me a compliment, I don't know how to take it. When I receive gifts, I get really awkward. I don't expect anything. Rather than taking that in my stride and saying thank you and being in the moment, I start thinking back to the past. Is this because of this? Is this? And, are they just doing this because of this? And I realize it's because I don't believe in myself. I don't see what others see in me. And then for years, I've been doing my own self-development journey and helping others through theirs. This year, I actually finished reading a few books, The Diary of a CEO, How to Do the Work. I followed a lot of Rob Dial's podcasts, a lot of Mel Robbins' podcasts, and I realised something. I wasn't just coaching you guys all listening through your limiting beliefs. I was actually coaching myself through mine as well. I realised a lot of my inner child work, the patterns, the self-abandonment, the people-pleasing, the fear of disappointing others, the guilt, the overthinking, and yes, these stories I'd been replaying for years. This abandonment was a huge one. When I created that awareness around that pattern, that when people would come and go through the business, it has nothing to do with me. Yet my body's trauma response was abandonment from when I was a child, not feeling like enough. So then I would try and people please, and then I'd have the guilt, and then I would do things that are unrealistic and not fair for my family for the fear of disappointing others. And I noticed the moments where I wasn't speaking up. I was shrinking myself to keep other people comfortable. I was carrying emotions that weren't mine. I was avoiding conflict even when I was hurt. I was saying yes to things that I really wanted to say no. And this is really uncomfortable for me to share from, the lens that you might see me through may not be any of these things. All of this has been so mind-blowing, but it's also been so uplifting, and it's also helped me thrive. So I want you to ask yourself at the back end of this chapter is, what belief did you carry into this year that no longer belongs to you? What story about yourself do you need to rewrite? This is about no one else. Because these books, the journaling that I do every day, and any of my self-development clients that I get you guys to start putting pen to paper, they didn't just help me grow as a coach, they also helped me grow as a woman. You're probably thinking these breakthroughs is, where and how do I rebuild myself? It wasn't dramatic and it wasn't big moments. It was the small things. Watching clients hit PBs, coaching women through massive transformations, seeing fit kids thriving, seeing kids have fun, smile, and move their body, building new programs, seeing members show up even when I felt tired. One of the biggest things, and it's only just recent, as in 2 days ago, is taking third place in that powerlifting comp, and to actually honestly say out loud that I am proud and believe it. These are rebuilding myself. Journaling when I wanted to shut down, trying to rest without guilt, learning to breathe again, and learning to trust myself. These are all the moments this year that rebuilt me piece by piece. And you too can do this as you reflect through 2025. So grab a pen and paper and ask yourself, what quietly rebuilt you this year? What moment proved you're stronger than you thought? Because growth often happens when no one's watching. And I can vouch for that. People that I trained over 10 years ago have reached out to me and told me how much I've changed their life. And in that moment, I was like, I don't believe that I've done anything special. And this is that realization that I don't believe in myself. And the most empowering thing is that I can change that, which is so cool and so empowering. And you're probably thinking, how can I move through 2026? How can I show up differently? You've got to let go. Because I know I'm releasing the guilt, my self-doubt, the people-pleasing, worrying that if I do something for me that it's going to upset somebody else. Carrying everyone else's emotions. So if I do this, they're going to feel like this. So I'll suffer to keep them happy. No, let it go. Apologizing for things that weren't my fault just to keep other people happy. The need to be perfect. The belief that rest equals laziness. Something really big with my personality is I really struggle to understand laziness. Then you have the flip side of that, right? It's like, well, I'm such a doer, a planner, a this or that I actually don't live in the moment. I don't live in the now. I live in the future. And we never have that. We never have the future. All I have right now is me sitting in my office, talking into my microphone, talking to you guys about the reflection of 2025. That is it. And letting go isn't easy. But holding on to all of this hurts more. So as you do your reflection for 2025, I want you to ask yourself, what do you need to release before the new year begins? Because you can't be into the now and plan for the future, carrying wounds from the old chapters. Going into the new year, I'm choosing to feel different. I'm not going in there fixed. I'm not going in there perfect, but clear, grounded, aligned, and open. I feel ready to lead again, not from pressure, but from purpose. I feel ready to grow, not from fear, but from confidence. I feel ready to expand my personal life, my community, my identity. Because I'm choosing stronger boundaries for me. More space, more rest, more presence, more trust in myself, and a higher standard for myself and my relationships. And I'm excited about what's coming. So I want you to ask yourself, who do you want to be at the end of next year? Not what you want to achieve, but who do you want to be? What energy from this year do you want to take with you? And what identity are you stepping into? Because the most empowering thing we can do is we can rewrite our story at any time. If you're listening and this is kind of hitting home and you're sitting here nodding and going, yep, that was me, I want you to share this episode with somebody that you think might benefit from it, or even just message me. These are reflection prompts. It's not going into 2026 going new year, new me, because let's be honest, you're the same person. You just need to let go of things that no longer serve you. You need to be your authentic, true self and not worry about the past. You can plan for the future. You don't really have it. You only have the actions that you take right now whilst you're listening to this. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being part of my year. Through the highs and the lows, the awkward moments, the breakthroughs, the growth, the community wins, and the deep inner work. Because this year changed me more than I expected. And I am so grateful for every lesson, even the painful ones. And I hope this episode helps you reflect, release, and reset. Because you deserve a fresh chapter too. This is our year to grow, our year to rebuild, and our year to expand together. So until next time, I love you all. I hope that you got a lot out of this episode, and just keep being you.